Hi, I'm Eric. Welcome to my investment and trading channel where we discuss the evolution of the trading discipline and use the matrix, something that I've created in order to manage your trading and investment positions. Today we're going to take a look at cocoa, generate a cocoa review. Actually, it's more of a cocoa understanding. I put up a poll over the holidays that says, is the invisible hand interested in cocoa? And it's kind of a deceptive question because if it wasn't, there would be no market, there'd be no trading, so it's always interested. I guess it's implied whether or not people understand what's taking place, and since there's not a large number of votes, but most of them are like, I'm not sure, so let's do a quick review so we set ourselves up to better understand cocoa. If you want to open up your matrix, if you're a subscriber, go ahead, or you can follow along with mine and then consider subscribing to the inside to get access to the matrix, because this is a valuable piece of information that will help you understand all sorts of market, not only cocoa, but everything that you see here is it'll keep you from doing stupid things, and that's the stupid things is using your gut and your emotion rather than following the discipline. The discipline of the evolution of trade establishes cocoa as a bullish primary trend that's not making any money. Its phase here is there's nothing there, which means it's A&E, it's energy and alignment and energy phase. It tells us that the three time frames, daily, weekly, monthly, are out of alignment, and that's exactly what's taking place. And first thing we say is, why is it producing? It's one of the lowest, it's highlighted red, so it's the worst producing directional flip in the matrix. The best is green, and that's crude oil, and it's down, not up, but that's a different discussion. So it's the worst producing one. The question is why we don't see anything sticking out as red in sometimes the monthly, weekly, and daily time frames. We're looking for price and time cycles that would be red, but in the case of cocoa, nothing is red. Everything's negative, which means the cycles are fairly early, and that brings us to energy, and we can see the energy build is pretty large. It's red, and it creates a bearish energy build. You can click on this link and you can download the DI charts, and you are going to get something that looks like this. And we can see that as cocoa chops and tries to run in this cause building or this trading range, it's doing so as energy is accumulating to the downside or creating a bearish energy build. When the DI numbers are down here, it creates these blocking domes or these energy builds, and it knocks price down. Price curls back down. It wants to jump the creek because the primary trend is up, but it's struggling because the energy build is in the wrong position. The energy build either needs to be more neutral or it needs to be closer to up here. It'll likely happen either as the primary trend flips back down and then flips back up, and then the daily trend kind of flips, or it'll come within a reset. But the question is as we migrate towards the top of this cause building area, is cocoa something we really want to be watching? And the answer to that comes within the Pro and Public Index, and it is yes. It's something we want to be watching on the long side or on the bull side because of who's buying. As cocoa is stuck in this trading range, on a closer perspective, we can see that the professionals in the Pro Index are making slightly higher highs and starting to push this up. So the pros are buying while the public is distributing and selling. And that's a good setup, the strong hands versus the weak hands, and they're slowly migrating in this. It's how the professional world sets up. It's what they call smart and dumb money. The dumb money gets set up, and it gets set up while they use these bearish energy builds, and they transfer positions, and eventually when enough money gets purchased, this will flip over and this trend will organize itself, and it's more likely then this will start to produce a positive return. So let's take another quick look at something else. This is the Pro Index. We know we should be watching it. If we take a look at the reversals here inside, again, this is another perspective. These are the weekly reversals. Inside the reversals tab, we have cocoa down here, New ticker is NIB. It'll bring you down. We'll take a look at these numbers above. There's numbers below. Here's the current price. Here's the daily, weekly, monthly. This is the computer's attempt to describe the supply-demand zones that exist within all of the historical trading history of cocoa that it sees. The further back I put things or the data, the more descriptive these zones will get. These zones are not visual zones that you can see on the chart. You can see them, obviously, but you can't pick them out because the computer is finding them for us. It's also creating a minimum zone that represents overlaps of multiple zones, and then it layers them above resistance, support, weekly, monthly. These are important. I use them all the time to understand where price and why price is struggling. Once it clears one of these zones, it hits air pockets, and air pockets tend to mark points of which price accelerates. So this is a visual representation. It's limited. This is only the weekly reversal zones. You can see the red lines, which represents resistance. You can see the green lines, which represent support. The red are bullish reversals. The green are bearish reversals, because if you close above things, they get a bullish. If you close below them, they get bearish. The point is you're looking for price to push above, maybe break out of this cause building block, break above the red lines, and hit an air pocket. The computer will draw more, but say it draws a red line here, the distance between here and maybe here would be an air pocket of which price will accelerate rather rapidly. If it does that while energy moves off of the bearish baseline into the neutral position or the bullish position, yeah, that's what we're looking for. That's a home run if you're a baseball fan in the U.S. Or that's a score. I mean, you double down on that all the time, or at least I do, because you're waiting for specific setups. You're waiting for price to hit an air pocket while an energy build flips while the primary trend is up or end young, and then you buy. Other than that, you sit and wait for the setup. You're patient. You don't force issues. You let other people talk. I love social media because it's a form of entertainment, but it's mostly people talking and talking out of you know what. Most of the time they don't even know what they're doing, but they look they look smart. They absolutely have no trading discipline whatsoever, but that's up to them. I mean, I'm not here to criticize them or support them. I'm just teaching the evolution of the trade. So we are going to keep following cocoa in terms of this. The play is patience, even though the primary trend is up, and it's been up for 5 months. If you bought that, you're just floating around the zero line, struggling, and that's fine. I mean, maybe that's something that you do and you have a small position there, and you're going to really escalate this when this kicks into gear. We'll know when it kicks into gear because that's why you follow the matrix. The matrix is updated every day. The important energy data is updated weekly. I can't tell you how this is going to play out. Maybe cocoa's going to break the ice rather than jump the creek. That's not what the initial game plan is telling me. It's telling me it's more likely to jump the creek. But we need to wait and see how this energy build is handled. They change rather unexpectedly. All of a sudden you go from a really bearish situation, and then 2 months later it turns wildly bullish when everyone's given up on cocoa, and all of a sudden it takes off, and then nobody's talking about it, and then they go to their computers and make bullish comments afterwards because everybody has to catch up. So that's the position for cocoa. So if you have any comments or questions, contact me through the blog or Twitter, or subscribe to the channel in YouTube and write your comments below. There'll be more follow-up on this, and we'll have more market reviews in the future to continue teaching. If there's no other questions today, have a good day, and I hope everyone has having a nice holiday. Until then, see you.